Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing on this hump day, on this Wednesday? We have had, 5 or 6 days of rain. We got a little sunshine yesterday and then it rained again, but they say, hey, at the end of the rain is where the rainbow is. And so for the rest of this weekend, I think it's going to be dry. But we got a lot to talk about. I know as we're getting started, we got our special guest, Torvis, who is our parent outreach specialist. We got Victoria Gordon, who has been our powerful parent 2-3 years in a row. And of course, Sonia and I, who are on here every week. But as you guys are coming on, please share it out. Let us know you're here. Share it with your network and we'll go ahead and get started. But wanted to pass it to Torvis and Victoria just to say hello before we get started. And we got some comments that are coming in.
Well, hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
How y'all doing?
hey, we just making it do what it do.
Right back there.
Hey, good morning to our guests. Shout out to the parents who have joined us, like with the quickness, share, comment, like. This Access Denied show. Let's talk about that a little bit. So this show is for parents and led by parents. And we talk about the subject that keeps us awake at night. It's uncut. It's raw. It is unscripted. So welcome to our Access Denied show. We are Nashville Propel, and we represent Black and Brown parents and grandparents from our most struggling communities who have children or grandchildren who attend or are zoned to our lowest performing schools. And that's who we are. Welcome. You are muted, John.
Amen. Amen. I see we got Ivory here. We got Scotty Too Hottie. We got Miss Moffin, who has been on here consistently. We got Rhea. So good morning to all you guys, and thank you guys for jumping on. As Sonya said, please share this out with your network as we talk about the issues that not only our kids face, but kids all across the district face. And today we wanted to bring on Torvis and Victoria just to have another level of parent perspective where we can talk about to listen or not to listen. That is the question, but also not just to listen. Are you really carrying out the suggestions that parents are making as we try to guide our kids through the school system?
Yeah, like I always think about two words: hearing and listening. Mm-hmm. Are we being heard? Is anybody listening and we're being heard, right? Like there's a difference. There's active listening and there's inactive listening, right? Like going to a school board meeting and you got 9 school board members there and you go to public comment and you're voicing your concern and people are sitting there, they could be listening on their cell phone or doing other things, but are you being heard is the question. Are you being heard?
Yeah. And so today, and Torvis, feel free to check in and tell us how your week is going. And then Victoria will check in on your week and then we'll get right into it.
Yep.
My week has been, I guess it's been eventful. We still got this COVID thing going. I've had a lot of family members pass from that. I've had COVID in my house, so it's real. So just trying to juggle everything around in life, and then you got parents that have issues every day with things going to the school system, teen readiness scores, and just a lot of different things. So it's been a very eventful week. It's hump day, and so we're just gonna keep on going at it.
And we'd like to welcome our other co-host, Mr. Carson Little. And Torvis, like many prayers going out to you and your family on the passing of your loved ones. You have our deepest condolences and our love. And make sure if you need anything, you let us know. So sorry to hear. And we're glad that everybody in your house is doing well. All right, Victoria.
Hey guys. We actually is having a good week. In spite of, I had to bury one of my cousins this past Saturday. and I had a role that I wasn't expected to take, so I had to create this obituary and set up a memorial table because COVID is real. We done had a couple of scares within my family, which led us to do different avenues with education. But all is well. All is great. It's a pretty day outside. I ain't been able to do my walking because I've been, grieving. And I think today I'm going to be able to walk because it's not raining. So
thank God. Thank you, God. Well, many prayers to you and your family too. It is real, and it's affecting our community. It's catapulting through our community like a tsunami. And so many blessings to the people who are listening on the sound of my voice. You are in our thoughts and our prayers.
Yeah, and thank you guys for that. And I just want to highlight just a couple of parents. Of course, we got Ivory. We talked about Scott Kendall, but a couple of parents. We got Ms. Harris. We got Ms. Holt. We got Mr. Driver, who won our Impel Award in National Propel. And then we got Ms. Cook, who was part of Cohort 10. So thank you guys for jumping on.
Yeah. Shout out to Thomas. Let's highlight that. Thomas is one of our newest organizers to join our team, and he has hit the ground running. I can remember when he first started, from the time he first started till we had our retreat in June, where we had a 3-day retreat together, and then he just kind of just blasted out like a rocket after that. And we're just so proud of the progress and the hard work that Thomas has displayed in the development of his leadership. And so shout out to Thomas. Celebrate him, y'all. Celebrate. We don't celebrate people like we should. And we want to take this time to say thank you. And thank you to the whole team. The work does not go unnoticed. And I think as an executive director, I think that this is the highlight of managing people, is to be able to celebrate the work that people do on the team, because we don't take it for granted. Thank you.
Amen. Yeah. And so one of the things that Shamika just jumped into, and I want to come back to Thomas, but I know Ms. Holt is about to go to class, but she just wanted to say, I wanted to get on here real quick before class to thank you to the entire Propel team. And Sonia, we will continue to stand with you through it all. I did not like the response Sissy Brown posted on her page about the show on 92Q, but moving forward, we will continue to fight together. And then she got the 100 and the muscle and the hand clap.
Well, she posted it on her page, but I'll be glad to talk to you, Cece Brown. I'm glad to speak truth to power any day, anytime, and any moment. So, if she wants to talk to me, 615-509-1916, and I'll be glad to have dialogue with her and speak truth to power.
Yep. And let's talk about that, because that's one of the things that we wanted to talk through today. And just if you can give a little background, Sonia, and then I think all of us, just because we've all been on the post, we've all responded, we've all been part of Propel and speaking out and supporting other parents to speak out. And so hearing that this morning, it kind of took all of us for a loop on an early morning Wednesday. And here we are.
So this morning, on my way to take CJ to school around 7:15, I was listening to the radio, 92Q, and Christian Buggs, our chairman of the school board, was on there, and she was talking about MNPS. And there was dialogue, questions from coming in from callers about different topics, but one that really caught me was about parent engagement and parents showing up to school board meetings. And the issue that I have about that is the fact that the chairwoman did not even refute the fact that parents do show up to school board meetings. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you don't say, right? Here we go with a chairwoman who is from North Nashville, who admits clearly that our community is receiving an inequitable education, and always says that she wants to disrupt that, but you cannot protect the system and disrupt it at the same time. You cannot protect the system and fight for Black children because the system's not made for them. So you can't protect something that doesn't protect them. And so that is the problem. I was also very disappointed with the questioning about, Black parents not showing up. And so, Black parents do show up, but when we show up, nobody is hearing us. And no one is helping us. And so for the community, this is for the community also. This is an indictment on our community because these were people calling in from the community.
Right.
So
right.
Who were amening this. But nobody is talking about a school district that has literacy rates as low as 9% and lower. That means you ain't teaching nobody how to read.
Right.
But nobody asked about academic achievement, nor is anybody questioning that. Everybody is being friends. I'm not your friend.
At all.
At all. And we will speak truth to power. I don't care who get mad. I don't care if Joe Biden get mad. See, we talked to Joe Biden. Do you think we back down to Joe Biden? We challenged him. And so this is not about sororities and fraternities and who we go to hookah with, who we dance with, who we friends with. This is about children not getting the education they need to deserve in a system that has not had high expectations for children. A system that has not taught children how to read and they have the right to be taught how to read. A system that is full of racism and bias. And so to hear people from our community even chime in and amen stuff like this, we're talking about a Black community. We're talking about Black leaders. We're talking about Black middle class people who have forgotten about everybody else. So you can get mad if you want to, and you can post whatever. I promise you this. I don't give a damn. I don't care who don't like me. I don't care who posts me on your Facebook. Stop me.
And that's so. Let me take us back to an article, and then Victoria, I would love to hear your perspective because I know as we've been talking, whether it's been in the Tennessean, whether it's been at the school board, whether it's been in the community, like you and along with other parents have been advocating, and that's why this kind of took us for a loop when they were letting it ride. But I'm gonna take you guys back to a Tennessean article, and then we'll look at the date on this. And let me make sure it's pulling up. So this article says one parent was like, teachers and administrators take the data very personally. They are very hands-on. They know kids by names and their stories. They know why many other kids are struggling academically. And there are things that are happening outside of the school environment that are factors. She was protecting the system. That was a parent. She was a Stratford parent, right? And then you say right across the hallway, but not all Nashville parents are aware of the list. This was talking about the priority school list, schools that are in the bottom 5% academically in the state. At nearby Maplewood, parent Joycelyn Jordan said she wasn't aware that Maplewood was on the list, on the cusp. Her son is a senior. She says she's been less hands-on in previous years, so she's trying to take responsibility because she thinks it's her fault. But she comes back. She said her involvement this year might be why she hasn't heard of the list, but she also felt like the school's administrators haven't been as communicative as in past years. Maplewood High School was in the bottom 6% of all schools in 2016. It dropped to the bottom 2.1% in 2017 on the cusp list. These are schools right before they make it to the bottom 5%. They're on like the cusp, which means the edge. What stood out when we looked at the date, this article was written, let me pull it up. in January 29th of 2018. January 29th, 2018.
Yeah, and I think it's, this is the problem. When media tells one side of the story, see, there is both sides of stories have to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a danger in telling one side of the story. And so my only disappointment with 92Q is this, and I'm gonna go back to this, is that they only tell one side of the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they did not push to ask the hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my only problem. But shout out to Kenny Smooth, who I connected with via Messenger, who is working to get Nashville Propel on the show to talk about what parents are doing and how we are fighting for our children.
Right.
Because there's a danger in telling one side of the story. And here in this article, John, as you pointed out,
yep,
there's a danger in the school system telling one side of the story, because parents then they don't know. They don't know. They don't know.
Like Victoria, when you hear this discussion and you see it just within your advocacy, what do you think? And we're gonna bring Ms. Gardner on as well.
Well, what I personally think is a smack in my face. Because first of all, I know I have been advocating, I've been partnering, I've been doing everything possible, and I think every parent has. That's the first thing. And then I don't think it's right that the school board chair, who leads the meeting, who sees me all the time when I'm standing at that podium, you can't miss me because I'm about the height of the podium. So she knows she see me. Don't acknowledge that we've been coming, we've been speaking. You ain't heard me, but I'm gonna keep on coming, and I'm gonna keep on until she realizes that she has been speaking with me. It's just parents are involved. How involved do you want us to be? Parents are showing involvement, but how much do you want us to be? Because my child still has learning loss. Let's just get on to that. Because if my child have learning loss, what do you want me to partner with you about? I'm not going to partner with that. I'm not going to participate as much. I'm going to get my child straight. Since I see that my quote unquote friend or school board member is not doing anything about that. We got this high budget. Cause I know in my house, when I budget, my budget is for what I need at that moment within this house. And I'm going to make sure it get done. That's why it's a budget. But I don't see that budget being done with the learning loss. Because they don't want to talk to me about what I looked at this map testing with my kid. They don't want to talk to me about these TCAP test scores. They don't want to talk to me about how my child, when he putting something on paper, I can't even read what he's writing, and nor do he know what he is spelling. Let's just get on to that.
Yeah, and so I think Joy is agreeing with you. So she says, "I wish y'all would talk about Pearl because all the schools is experiencing this is." I have watched my child fail because the communication is poor between the board and in the schools themselves.
John, do you know how much that I'm glad that person wrote that, Miss Monroe. I'm a product from Pearl. I love Pearl. Product from Pearl. That's just sad. I'm pretty sure when my grandmama was involved like I'm involved, because that's where I learned it from. I'm pretty sure she knew that. Obviously she broke this on to me because I've been like this from I got two kids that have walked up out of this school system. Two different ways, two different forms, but still, you still fail my kids, and I still got one in there, and you failing him. But we talking about partnership. We keep talking about involvement, and then do they even know what those words mean? Because I'm homeschooling my kid and I'm teaching him the meaning of words. And do they know what partnership, involvement, engagement, empowerment, do they know what that means? Because I don't think they do, because they don't even know what learning loss means.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you, like Victoria. Like, you know, for far too long, Black parents have been ignored. And I want to bring Joyce into the conversation. Welcome to the platform, Joyce. And you heard Victoria, and you heard the comments. And just to get you up to speed, this morning, I overheard a conversation on the radio with our chairman, and she was on a platform, a media platform, 92Q. And there were callers calling in at the point where I heard it. And what I'm upset about is not about a lot about what she said, it's what the things she did not say. How she did not defend the very community that she represents, as if we're not showing up, as if we're not wanting to partner, and as if, you know, we don't matter. But when white parents show up, they get $1 million school buildings when they send an email. But when we do it, then, you know, we making noise. So Joyce, just to kind of get you involved in the conversation, welcome. And, you know, just want to hear your take on that.
I'm very disappointed that that conversation took place, because first and foremost, the school system has our kids. They spend more time with our children than we do. We shouldn't, we do try to partner with them, but we shouldn't have to. Do your job. Do what you're paid to do. You get more than enough money. There are more than enough resources. We've presented a plan to help all children, not just for our children, all children learn so that they could be successful in life. And for her to even not even acknowledge the fact that we've been fighting for this for over a year now, it's just, it breaks my heart that, I mean, why are we continuing on this path in 2021? Why do we not want better for all of these children? There's got to be a hidden agenda somewhere, because I just don't get it. It's ridiculous.
Intentional.
It's ridiculous.
It's intentional.
And it's hurtful. I mean, I can hear the hurt in you all's voice, because you are the parents that, some of those parents who have been showing up, and for people in the community to have the perception. You know, Miss Buzz asked to join our parent group. That's why you can't be a part of our parent group. You won't even stand up for us. And I'm very disappointed. And the only reason I'm disappointed in 92Q is they didn't ask her the hard questions.
Right.
Nobody asked her about the failure to increase academic achievement in this system. And let's talk about the real problems so that people in the community know the ugly truth. There's a truth and a fact that is not being discussed. This really ain't about Miss Buzz. This really ain't about 92Q. This is about a system that has been able to write the story, tell the story, and carry it out. And basically assassinate the character of parents and shame us. That's what this is about. So everybody get out your damn feelings, and let's talk about what the real problem is. We are wanting to partner, but that has not been something that school districts across this country has mastered. They ain't mastered educating children. They sure ain't mastered partnership.
This is, I think the issue, and somebody brought it up, they said when Black parents come, Black parents are ignored, Black parents are considered hostile. And just even as I look at it, I say, what has changed, right? Even when people were advocating for equal rights, you know, and they were locked up, they said, hey, you need to be a good Negro. Like, don't bring trouble here. Like, we're all friends. But when we consistently see, we got kids, definitely, but we got friends and family members who we have seen their kids. We are watching their kids right now. we had a parent on our call last night, and it kind of broke my heart because she said, I'm still dealing with the same issues that I was dealing with last year. And this lady lives out north. She sent her kid to, I forgot the school, but it was I'll get it. But essentially, she tried. It was Croft. She tried to take her kid from North Nashville, send her all the way out to Croft because she thought it was better, and she's still getting the same shaft. She is driving herself. She is taking time off from work. She is paying her own gas, and she's still getting the shaft. And people look at her and say, you ain't doing enough.
Right. That's what they saying about me, John.
That's what they say about all of them.
I walk and take my child to school. Catch the bus, take my child to school. But what I do want to know is when they have labeled me an angry parent. I only get angry when I'm not being heard. That's why I want to know, when I speak, are they listening? Because when I talk with my child and when he don't listen, after the second time, my voice level raised to make sure you heard me. And that's why I want to know. And plus the system, they need to do better. They need to do better. I've been dealing with this with Malik since 2014. They need to do better. I don't need to do nothing. They need to do better. So I took it upon myself so my kid can do better.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being angry.
I don't think so.
Why are they not angry?
Because it's intentional. It's intentional.
Everybody should be.
I had to come all the way up so we can hear, because I play with words like they play with words. I've been teaching Malik to learn about words, and so it's intentional. They can sit in my living room like the Tennessean, so I can tell them that it's intentional. Meet me where it is, instead of me catching a bus or catching a ride to the meetings, to the school board meeting. Meet me at my house.
Yeah,
and tell me in my face I'm not involved, because I am. It's kind of feel like some parents are overly involved. They overly engage. They overly partnership to be let down. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those products. And now I got tired. So being that my birthday is September 8th, like Ruby Bridges, what you think I'm gonna do?
Okay.
What you think I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna let up. What, you want me to hold a sign? What you want me to meet you at your house? What you want me to involve myself at church house school? Like what do you need me to do, Miss Chairwoman? Like, that's what I want to know.
The bottom line is you cannot protect the system.
You can't protect who's not there for
black children. You just can't. Show me somebody who can. It cannot be done with a system that is not made for them, that is set up for their detriment.
It's set up for failure.
You can't do it. So when a school board chair says that's what they're doing,
our children are getting let down. Our children are working hard in spite of what accommodations they may need, in spite of whatever they may need to help them in school. I sit there and watch Malik. He works hard. Then he get tired. And when he get tired, he get frustrated. It's gonna be chaos.
Yeah.
Teach him. Yeah. That's what you're getting paid to do. Because nobody don't pay me to be no mama.
Ooh.
But they pay you to be a teacher. And they pay you to be a school board member. They pay you to do all of this. Pay me.
Come on now.
See if I do it. Because I think I can.
What do you think? What do you think?
I can.
I think
Ruby Bridges did it. I can do it too.
There comes a time where you gotta put up or shut up. You can do all that talking all you want to. We doing this, we doing that. There comes a time you gotta put up and shut up. And I'm just going back to this conversation I had this week. I have a child that's in a school. The child is 5th grade, reading on 10th grade level, but the child can't add 1 plus 1. You got a child that's classified as a junior at the school who has 3.5 credits. I have another child that is a senior in the school that has 13 credits. So somewhere these kids have been put They got left behind a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then they came all the way through this system, and now they're going to be out here on the streets. And they're going to graduate them. And then these kids are not going to be prepared for life. That's why they end up in jail. That's why we have the worst incarceration rate in the world right here in North Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, come time when you put up or shut up. You're getting money. You have money that you're supposed to be, parents supposed to have a say-so in it. You have money for learning laws, so you act like there's no learning laws. I have never seen anything talk about learning laws. Now, let's go back to this amnesia that they keep having. Parents are not involved. How many times have we been to the damn school board?
Right.
So if you don't remember, I'll tell you what. We'll come back and we will show up every time, and we will shut the meeting down again, and we'll shut the meeting down again.
We need some gas money. Get us some gas money. Damn.
Tarvis, how they not gonna remember that the evangelist came in there? So next time I'm gonna shut it all the way down. We all gonna stand up, and you gonna hear me. Like, and then let's talk about my son who didn't get to graduate. The school let him down. He played football. He had a moment. You know, I'm wondering where the school counselors at. You know, all this is happening at school. Where these counselors at? Because things are happening to our children that we cannot. I'm gonna speak up on it because I'm sitting right here with one of mine.
Yeah,
one of mine. They keep getting let down. And it's coming down on them, especially with our black men. And I'm me as a black mother, I'm gonna raise up about mine. But what I do know is my son who went to East. I love East. I love that school, but he couldn't fill out a job application. He didn't know nothing about a resume. But you want to say I'm not involved, but I had to teach him that. All these parents during the pandemic were teachers. Support the behavior support. Let's just talk about it because that's what's over here. Our counselors, we doctors, we have to be lawyers from time to time. But you're gonna tell us we're not doing nothing?
Wait a minute. Let's help the community out here a little bit. Let me give you a real fact. That in 2019, one of the most prominent high schools right here in Nashville, Tennessee, had a valedictorian who graduated with a 14 ACT, a valedictorian. In that same year, multiple schools did not have English teachers and did not have math teachers. Then let's fast forward. We're in our third year of the pandemic, third school year of a pandemic, third school year of a pandemic, with a fully funded budget, with $470+ million, and the school system still say they're underfunded. We have the highest paid teachers in the state of Tennessee. We have a priority school list that will catapult, that only had one school that came off Rosebank this year. We have literacy rates that are so low that I don't even know how you can recover children at this point. And we have a plethora of excuses and friends and sororities and bar partners and tea party cookie eaters who want to be friends. This is my friend. This person is passionate. None of that matters. What can we do? T. Banks asked today, what can we do? We can hold the system accountable for educating children. That's exactly what we need to do. We don't need to pacify. We don't need to coop up with our friends. Just because I like people on that school board. I like Dr. Battle. What I don't like is kids going from schoolyards to prison yards to graveyards. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. And one of the things, just to reinforce what Sonia and Victoria are saying, when we talk about the money, right? Tutoring programs, summer programming, early reading, interventionists. you know, 29 million here, 28 million there, 13 million out south, 15 million out west, and then the other is 58, close to 60 million, right? That's just for the academics. And then they look at student readiness, educators. If you guys want to see this, we'll send it to you. But that's why we keep saying, quit just saying it's about the money, because we got the money. The money is there.
And we're asking the media to ask the hard questions. Yes, media, radio, TV, bloggers, we're going to look, we need you to help hold these people accountable and not take this lie that it's parents' fault. Because it's not parents' fault. We've got poor instruction. We've got poor resource allocation, yes, allocation. We have poor accountability to no accountability being put on a system that has failed children for decades. Yeah. We don't have a parent problem. We don't even have an individual school problem. We got a system failure.
And you can have people with titles, and the title is just a title. You know, I asked a question to the lady one time that she was talking about, she's over literacy, MNPS. Okay, cool. Well, teach them how to dose your tutoring. She said, go on the website and you'll find something on there. I mean, go on the website and find something. So now, being teachers, being parents, being providers, now we got to be investigators. We got to go find everything. We got to go find the map test. We got to go find the teen ready. We got to go find the kids from here. We got to go find computers and Wi-Fi. That's a lot of stuff we got to find to be a parent. Stop talking about parent engagement. It's like parent partnership, like I was saying before. Okay, since you don't understand, we'll come back over. Get all your police ready like you did before, and we just keep coming over until you see us.
And stop engaging us. Stop engaging us. Exactly. Commit to us. Partner with us. Stop engaging us. We don't want your engagement. We want your partnership. Thank you, Torvis.
So Ms. Wu says there, go ahead, Joyce, and I'm going to read a couple
comments. How do we access the high dosage tutoring? Who's responsible for administering that to us, to our children? How do we get to
they decide. The power is in the school system's hand. They decide who gets what. So if you have a school, a priority school, where 95% of the children are behind, who are reading on grade level, there are going to, not all 95% of those children are going to get what they need. They get to decide who gets what. Ask me if I'm lying.
You're not.
95% of the kids are failing, which that is a true number. Because I mean, if they ranked in the bottom 5%, then that's a true number, right?
Right.
So if 95% per se of the kids in a school are failing, that means that nobody is reading on grade level, and that means only a specific group of children to their choosing will get what they need, while the other percentage of children who need it, who deserve it, will not get it.
Yep.
That's what you're facing, parents. That's exactly what you've been facing, and that's what you're facing now.
You're exactly right. But you can pick and choose the ones that you want to get the tutoring, but then you pick and choose our kids when it comes time to put them out of school or fail them. It's crazy.
What kid don't act right? What kid do you know has good grades, who's reading on grade level, gets in trouble in school? If you can't read, you don't want nobody to call your name. You don't want to stay in class.
You're going to act up.
You're going to act up. You're going to act up.
Yeah, I did. There's a lot of trouble kids in school, and kids can't learn because all the chaos going on as well every day. My child showed me a video of a fight at Pearl Cone. She has never gotten into a fight, but her second week at Pearl, she was in 2 fights and nothing was done. I had to remove her from Metro altogether. Let's go to the root cause.
Can I tell you something? I worked in Riverbend maximum security on death row. You can't tell me adults can't manage a school. Let me go up in a school. John Little, in February 2020, we went into Maplewood High School at 6:30 in the morning. Principal wasn't there. Most of the teachers wasn't there. The kids had gotten off the bus and they were roaming. The bell rings. They had a substitute. He didn't know where to go. It was pure chaos. The principal was not even there. The children wouldn't go to class. John, who got the kids to go to class?
Yep. Sonya went over talking to one of the kids, like, hey, I need you to go to class. After the campus supervisor had tried to get her, she just looked at him.
So don't tell me with skill, will, and love that these children can't act right in school. That little girl looked at me. I asked her why. She was being disobedient. She told me, she said, well, they don't never come to class on time. She wasn't lying.
Right.
I said, you know what? You ain't lying because I see it.
Right now.
I see it right now. I said, but let me tell you something. There are times when the adults don't do what they're supposed to do that you've got to model. And I remember her name. It started with a C. I ain't going to say it. I remember that baby's name. And she said, yes, ma'am, and went to class.
Right.
So don't tell me with skill, will, and love that these kids won't be obedient. I worked in a prison with death row with people that murdered people. And it was an environment where they did what you asked them to do in a prison. Because you can't tell me that you can't go into a school with love, skill, leadership, care, and have a school with students who are going to have issues, because children have issues with getting along. But if we can't manage that, close the things down. Why are we even doing this every day?
Right.
And getting a check for it.
Exactly. Our kids spend majority of their time in school.
Yes, they do.
And me as a parent, when Malik is here, I'm not saying we don't have no issues, but it's nothing like of the nature of it as school. Being that it's multiple people there and it's only one person here, one parent here, I can control that. But it's multiple teachers there. Why it can be controlled. But you have to. But as children, they model what they see.
Nobody's listening
here with me every day. Nobody's
listening to
8 hours. So what is he modeling? Who is
nobody's listening to them. Nobody. There was an administrator in Haywood County who I talked to who said there was a child that kept getting in trouble in school. And they called a S-team meeting. His grades was falling, blah, 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 blah. Finally, after they tried several things, he asked the little boy, why are you doing that? He said, because when I get out of school, the gangs try to fight me and do stuff with me. So I keep getting in trouble.
So he can leave.
But if y'all had something for me to do after school where the gangs won't be messing with me, I'd be okay. He said, I'm fighting for my life. They put that boy in some programs. He started making A's and changed his whole behavior. There's nothing in the it city but guitars and liquor. There's nothing here for our kids. Nobody's listening to them. And those same parents that they shame are the result of what this city has done to them. Mayor Cooper, city council members. There's nothing here there's no housing here for them. There's no jobs here for them. All there is slanging jugs and fighting other people to get what they got. And I'm going to be quiet.
Skill, will, and love. You're exactly right. I see some kids every day that they have problems with. I have problems with the kids. I give them a fist bump. One child stayed in trouble, I bought them a Gatorade. We've been cool ever since. Don't get in trouble, you won't get no Gatorade. So, like I said, you can't go in and we don't know what the kids go through in school. But like Sonya used to say all the time, something happens in these schools where the kids love to go to school and they don't want to go no more. They don't want to go to school for nothing, regardless. And we don't know what it is. I guess it's the way they talk to them, the way they treat them. And I'll tell you what, if a child don't know that you care and love about them, they're not going to do nothing for you.
No.
They're not going to do nothing for you. Simple as that.
They say it. I mean, I went to Belshire on the first day of school. The principal invited me over. And a lot of those kids, it was their first time even being in a school building, right? They weren't out of the line. They wasn't disobedient. It was only out of the hundreds of kids that came in that building, it was only about 3 of them that we had to say, pull your mask up. You know, they had to blow their nose, their babies. They had their backpacks on. They wasn't screaming and hollering and pushing each other. We send our kids into these buildings one way and they come out another. That's what's happening. We send them to kindergarten. Think about the first day of school, people, for your babies. How excited they were to go to school and to ride the school bus. And then weeks later, they come home and they don't want to go back. What is happening in them buildings? What's happening? We got to ask ourselves some real serious questions here so that we can get down to some real solutions and stop trying to shame Black parents who have been failed. Why should we have faith in this system? Why should we come to a PTA meeting at 4:30 and we get off at 4:30? Mm-hmm. Why should we sell donuts when you got $1.2 billion plus 400? Why am I selling a damn donut?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't selling no donuts and candy bars.
Yeah, Miss Christmas says yes, and she throws up her hand. And then we got to realize, right, even in leadership, sometimes your mentality is when you overthrow the oppressor, when you get in leadership, what a lot of people do is take on the same actions as the oppressor. So when you look at our school system and you look at historically, we done been to documentaries that's called The Design, where it talked about our school system was designed to hold Black kids down as Black, brown, and poor. And as we have new leadership, nothing has really changed because we're using the same way they operate as the people who I was driving up the interstate, I-65 South. Has anybody ever seen Franklin Road Academy? If you go on I-65 South, you look to the right, it's this gigantic school. I don't appreciate it, but I can respect it. What those people did in that Oak Hill community is said, I'd be damned before we desegregate this school. Just next door to John Overton, we're going to build a bigger and better school, and we're not going to send our kids to Overton. And so every time I ride past Franklin Road Academy, I just think about those parents who said, we're going to put millions of dollars into a school system and not send our kids to their traditional zone school because they desegregated. We still dealing with parents who don't want their kids and Black, brown, and poor kids to be on the same level. And so they do different things. They bring schools back to Bellevue. They get private tutors so their kid can be designated. They go to schools that are cherry picking our kids. They send their kids to, you got to be cherry picked to make it in the mix. No shame, because we try to do it too. But they created those schools to bring white parents back into the system. And you gotta score a certain TCAP or TN ready or whatever you want to call it. You gotta score a specific map. And I think until we start to talk about that and not talk about, oh, well, Miss Jenkins didn't come to the PTA meeting, she don't care. Miss Jenkins want to know what we got to do and where the partnership at.
Oh, man, no. That kid came to school, they backpack smelled like weed. So? What's that got to do with teaching them how to read? Let me tell you something. This false narrative that Black parents don't care is just as detrimental as racism.
Yeah.
It's just as detrimental as racism. That false narrative that we don't care. So what, that kid came to school smelling like weed? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's understand. Let's understand. Mm-hmm. That baby ain't smoking weed. Mm-hmm. Teach him how to read. Make sure that he has those social emotional things. Make sure that we give him hope and understanding and love and not punish him for something that an adult did. Exactly. Who cares if they smell like weed? Some of y'all put that spray on y'all's weed smell, so won't nobody know.
Amen.
Well, who's to say it ain't him?
Come on now.
So can't tell right there to just falsely accuse somebody or something. So it's like you got the thing that the kids can't learn. Man, look, I coach football and I had 7-8-year-old kids, and them kids knew 5 different offenses, which was all terminology. Everything was a terminology. They understood that. So when I went to the school, I'm like, these kids can learn because they can learn 5 different offenses. So you made it individualized to them. You make it interesting to them versus just giving them a piece of paper and having them just look at it. Well, hell, they need help because if they could do it, they wouldn't need you.
Right.
So why you just keep giving them brochures or papers and say, here, go do it, and they have no clue how to do it. So they can learn. Don't tell me they can't learn. I see it all the time. But then you have the cherry picking, like you said. This child is doing good in sports. They can go to a certain school. What about the other ones? As long as you can run the ball, you can do good. And then when you graduate, what you gonna do? Because they help you pass your loan to get you the points to win games from you. That's your senior year. So they want to help you get a clearinghouse so you can get in college because you can't.
Yeah, I mean, and let's talk about, you talk about the cherry picking. Let's also talk about the fact that Lagra Newman can come into the same community and with love and high expectation and educate those same children. Those same children.
Say it again for the let's repeat that.
Let's talk about how Lagra Newman, who founded and started Purpose Prep, who took those same Black, brown, beautiful, genius children from struggling communities. And she took high expectations and love and integrity and proudness of them for them being Black. Took those same children with them same parents and educated them children and is educating those. Let's talk about that. Tell that on TV, radio, put it in print. Right. Hell, I text it to you. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Sonia, aren't they trying to stop her from expanding her school?
Look, anything that's competition. See, when you got competition, when you ain't doing right, you'll do anything by any means necessary, no matter who you hurt, to stop it because you want to save face.
Yep.
You got a system that wants to save face. It's the bottom line. Tell that too. They just want to save face.
Yeah. And looking back, has the driver's license center in Nashville or across the state changed since when you guys were going to get your driver's license? What do you run into when you go there? Like, what's going to be some of the issues you run into?
They're gonna have that mean person at the counter.
Yep.
That's gonna say you forgot to fill out this line.
Yep.
You need your original birth certificate. Don't get me started on that.
Yep. Long lines.
Take a ticket.
And then while you trying to get your ID, they have a whole bunch of conversations that I shouldn't even be listening to because all I need is my ID. I don't want to hear what happened last night and 2 weeks ago and who done what. That's what I experienced, especially the one downtown.
Then they gonna talk funky to you. Go over and stand in front of the blue curtain.
Yeah. Real fast.
But why do they get to talk to us like that? Like, why do we get that from when we were 16 to now we taking our kids at 16 to get?
We can't go nowhere else.
Right.
But we pay them though. We pay them.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say get a clipboard on the end of the line.
Go over and stand in front of the red. Put the curtain down the red one. Back up.
They do when you get your tag.
Snap your picture when you ain't looking right.
You got to pay that money regardless. You got to have your tags. Well, me, I drove about 4 months without a tag. I just got mine. But the fact of it is, you're gonna have to come see them one day. Yeah. So they got the attitude where you got to deal with us. So
there's no choice. There's no competition.
And you gotta wait. Like you gotta
get there at 8 at 7:59, and you gotta tell your job you might not be in till 3.
Or you can drive to Hendersonville or Huckleberry, Tennessee.
Let's say you next, and then they be like, "Oh, we're closing for lunch." You be like, "Y'all told me you were gonna get me. Now I got to wait for you to come back for lunch, and you will come back for lunch slow, and late.
But they gonna say parents are lazy. They not getting there early enough. Parents are lazy. They didn't bring the right information. Like parents are lazy. Like they couldn't listen to what I was saying. That's what they saying in the back.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna give you an example. Parents, everybody listening. I would like to see the plan for academic achievement. That's an email I'm sending.
Mm-hmm.
What you asking for?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see your plan for academic achievement. We don't know what you're talking about. Then when you say stuff, they don't know what you're talking. I got emails to prove it. Don't nobody know. My child needs to be screened for special education. Well, they didn't ask it right. Well, hell, how many other ways do I need to ask it?
You got to put it in writing.
Wait a minute, that is in writing. But you didn't ask for the right thing. You should have asked for a universal screener.
You didn't go to the right department.
Yeah. Like the communication is when you are administrating a system of people in a district this wide, you have to put things at eye level with your people. You can't have acronyms and all of these things that nobody even knows anything about. How many people under the sound of our voice even know about the student dashboard, have access to it, know how to operate it, and then even know what they're going to do with the stuff in the dashboard?
They said 23% have access. I haven't met a parent yet who's been
Ain't no one yet.
Yeah, not one yet. Some lady said she did, and then it found out it was another system. It was the dean's list system. It wasn't the student dashboard.
Well, when they rolled it out at the school board meeting that night, one school board member got on, and then the other one couldn't get on. So there was 50% that night.
Call Christian Buzz and tell her what's her number. She gave it out there on the radio. Let's everybody call Christian Buzz, get your Infinite Campus, log in to the student dashboard and ask her how to operate, and then ask her what they're gonna do with the stuff in there. Everybody on here, everybody. Call the check. She wants y'all to call her with every problem. Call her. Call me. Call her. Call her. Ask her how to get into the school board student dashboard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ask her where your TCAP scores are. All them parents we talked to yesterday still ain't got them. Mm-hmm. Call her. She waiting on y'all to call her. Call her. Call her.
What we need to call her for, we've been sitting in the face telling her what we need.
Because she said that's the way you're going to get your problems fixed. Call her. Right. Mm-hmm. Call her. Do the right thing. Call her. Stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. Call her.
Stop being lazy, Joyce, and call her. Mm-hmm. That's part of parenting involvement.
Right.
I'm too busy trying to teach my child doing quarantine. I'm sorry. I ain't got time to be on the phone.
It would say we meet parents where they are.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking about calling her though. Call her.
I said we meet parents where they are, so I guess we have to meet her where she is. So I guess we all have to go to school to talk to her.
Blow her phone up. Got all the answers. Call her. Call her. She got
it. And as we wrap up, I think circling back to any last words around parents being lazy, in your personal experience, what message would you send to Christian Buds or 92Q around why parents are not lazy?
Oh, you asking me? Oh, I'm gonna let y'all go first. I got plenty to say about that.
Yep.
Victoria,
I'm gonna put myself on mute.
I'm finna say something. Victoria Gordon is not lazy. And if you think I'm lazy, they can come walk with me. But what I like to say is I'm a parent. Like most parents, I'm actively involved. I was involved yesterday. I will be today. I'm going to tomorrow. The system need to do better. If they knew better, they'll do better. And right now, I think they should know. And don't ever mix Victoria and lazy together, or parents and lazy together. It's not. The school systems need to do what they're supposed to do what we pay you to do, and teach my child.
That's right.
Sometimes you hear silly stuff, you don't even have to respond to it. So,
Right.
brother, so I'll show you back and tell you. And that's all I'm going to say on it.
George, you got anything?
I did exactly what Victoria said. I don't even. I'm at a loss for words to even respond to that. It's ridiculous for anyone to even put that out there after parents have had to change jobs and do everything to try to educate their children, help their children be educated during the pandemic, and they didn't even have what they needed from the school system to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're lazy. Mm-hmm. We had to be the cooks. We had to clean. We had to teach it. We had to do everything during the pandemic, but we're lazy.
Yeah. And I think that goes to the community. The problem is when those of us who are in Black leadership are silent and we don't defend. And what we are upset about is when Black leaders who say that they are fighting for Black children allow others to say that parents are lazy, or even to speculate, or even put a little bit of that into the conversation, and to not defend the defendable, the thing that's right in their face. That is what we're upset about. I will say this. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we have door knocked, we have met these very Black parents that some people in this community say are lazy and don't care. And we have not met one who does not love their child. We have met many who are struggling, like a lot of us do. We've met many that are not perfect. But we expect for our children to be taught how to read, to go in these school buildings, to be educated. And that, I think that is the important thing here. And that's not happening. And especially not happening for Black children when you have literacy rates in the teens and below. We have a system failure. And so it's time for Black, white, yellow, all people to realize that and stop pointing the finger at parents. It's not a parent problem. It's a system failure. And I'll say this. This is not to point the finger at one single person. There have been many who have come before Ms. Buggs, and many who are sitting on the platform now who are not truly fighting for our children. And I don't see how they can within this system. That's all I got to say. And if you want to post something about me on your Facebook, tag me or call me. So now I'm finna get out of character. I'm woman enough to say something back to you. Anybody can get it.
If you think the parents are not involved, you need some of this. I mean, you full of milk. And I'm done with it.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, guys.
And that is the show.
Yes, that is the show. Join us next week. But as you see, we got Sherry Lucas, who has been on here today, Miss Lucas Hall, commenting with us. She's going to be on Monday. She is definitely a content expert. It's something you definitely don't want to miss. This next Monday, 6 o'clock. Tune in, comment. The last time I think we had over 100 people commenting. So we look forward to seeing you guys next Monday at 6. And then as again, every Wednesday at 11, we do Access Denied.
See y'all next week.
See, bye, Carson.
Now you won't talk, Carson.
All right. He said, I've been holding his voice.